Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Mortgage Boss Talk Tuesday with me, Joy Bailey. I am the mortgage boss. So, coming to talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on in the housing market. It is the height of summer. We are right in the very middle of the summer. The kids are about to start getting ready to go back to school again. And we're going to talk about what is going on with the rates, what's going on in terms of the housing supply. What does it mean to you if you're thinking about getting in the housing market? Want to talk to make sure that on this channel, at least, you're getting fact-based, concrete information so you can make educated decisions. So, if you are new here, if you've never been on my channel before, I provide, hey Terrell, I am actually a mortgage loan officer. I've been a loan officer for about 9 years. And before that, I was a middle school teacher. So I like to teach people about how to purchase a home. Wrong. Oh. And help you secure the best funding that you possibly can. I am licensed in multiple states, even though I am here in the Charlotte area. I'm licensed in, I had to write them down. I'm licensed in Alabama, Arizona, Georgia, Illinois, Kentucky, Maine. Y'all know anybody live in Maine? I don't. Michigan, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. So, what you mean wrong you? You have two different accounts. I was so confused. Like, what you mean wrong you? Anyway, so I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the headlines that I've seen over the past couple of days since we last had our meeting. And today I do have a little bit of wine, so I'll try not to drink too much too fast. But last time we went like 2.5 hours or so. So hopefully it won't be that long this time. I'm going to try to keep it to about an hour or so. So I have an article here. I have some information to talk about regarding the investors in the real estate market, and a couple of questions that I received and on social media, and some things that I saw floating around that I would like to weigh in on. So that's that on that. Okay, let's see. Where is my article here? Are you still, Terrell? Are you still on your work trip? Let's see. Where is this article? I have so many screens open. I don't even know why I got all these screens open. Where is my article? You still there? Where is my article? Let me find out. I don't have it. I don't have it up. Of course, why would I? Let me see if I can find it right quick. Hang on. I'm struggle streaming. I'm having a little technical issue here. So give me just a moment, please. So that I can find this article that I was gonna talk about. Man, I'm struggling for real. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me today? Let's see. I can't believe this. Here it is. All right. My bad. Oh, okay. Hey, Paul. Thank you so much. You said you'll be back after you get your kids. You can't wait. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Oh, don't learn about me struggle streaming over here. I'm over here. I'm trying to get my article up, but I had to go and Google it again. All right, so here we go. I got it. Thank you so much for your patience with me here. I'm going to share this. This was an interesting article that I thought I'd like to share and just kind of chat a little bit with you. I hope everyone can see it pretty good. But this is from realtor.com. Realtor.com is a website that's accessible to the public that talks about excuse me, that's accessible to the public, that provides information about the housing market, as well as opportunities for you to go out and look at homes that are in your respective areas. Gives you a good idea of what's available in the market, how much houses are costing. It's a great website. I often use it when I'm talking to home buyers, trying to set the proper expectation for how much it's going to cost them to buy the $250,000 house or the $400,000 house that they're looking for. So, as you all know, the rates have been through the roof, and it has certainly impacted me. I think that Jerome Powell has hit me with a stray bullet. I don't think I was the intended recipient of this economic slowdown, but this article explains a lot about it. So, is the housing market backsliding? Mortgage rates jump to a new high. And that's not even the worst news. That is absolutely, definitely not the worst news. So all eyes are on mortgage rates these days as they zigzag between bad and awful. And it certainly made a lot of people not be able to afford what's on the market. And they may have just reached utterly miserable, absolutely a misery level for sure. Mortgage rates for a 30-year fix hit nearly 7% the week of July 13th. The way that they collect data is on a week-to-week basis. So they compare week over week. Is it up? Is it down? And this information is according to Freddie Mac. The highest that is being since November 22nd of last year. And this is a significant jump from when it was 6.81, which I don't consider that significant, but hey, whatever. Which is already the highest level that has been of 2023. But believe it or not, interest rates pushing past 7% might not be the biggest hurdle that home buyers are facing. While affordability continues to be the challenge for buyers, the lack of inventory is likely to be a key issue for eager buyers as it keeps upward pressure on prices, which is limiting buyers' choice. That is absolutely true. Y'all, when people call me and they are wanting to get pre-approved for a home, yes, they do have some sticker shock about what the payment is going to be. But what really ends up happening that is causing a lot of people to back out of the housing market, even though they can afford it on paper, is the fact that the houses don't look like what they imagine in their minds because everything has gone up so fast. So you had the housing prices going up, doubling, in 2 years. And then you also had the interest rates that have doubled in 2 years. So yeah, the affordability is definitely a huge challenge, but it's not enough houses that are available. So to help buyers and sellers get the temperature of where the market is and where it's going, here's what the latest real estate statistics are saying for the week ending July 8th. So here are some trends. These are national trends, by the way. And because I do live in Charlotte and I do have access to some information, I am going to hone in a little bit on the Charlotte area, Charlotte metro housing market, so you can kind of get some ideas. The numbers that I'm going to show you for Charlotte are not going to be vastly different than that of an Atlanta or some of the other major metropolitan areas, particularly like in the Southeast. So the median listing price went down 0.2%. New listings are down. The time on the market is up. So that means that people aren't, buying houses as quickly as they were about a year ago. And also the mortgage rates are up. So all of these things, they have an impact on one another. The interest rates being up is causing people to not want to move. So they're not listing their home. So listing is, I am listing my house on the market for you to be able to buy. If I am sitting at an interest rate of 4%, why do I have an incentive to move? What am I moving for? Where am I going to go? And so consequently, it's taking a lot longer for buyers to be able to say, oh God, I'm really going to buy this house. I can't believe I'm getting ready to have a $4,000 a month mortgage payment. It's taking them a little bit more time as well to kind of come to terms. So even though they may have a little bit more inventory, slightly more inventory to take a look at, they still kind of dragging their feet on actually making an offer. Thank you for liking it, Paul. Yeah, y'all, as y'all come on in, please like that for me. I appreciate you. I appreciate it a lot. Terrell, what'd you say? What's crazy? The price? Because it is. It's up and it's stuck. I'm trying to tell you. It ain't going anywhere. And we're gonna definitely talk about why. So what typically happens is in terms of consumer behavior, uh, around February, people start saying, okay, I think I'm going to buy a house this summer. And about 90 days out, they start to get prepared. They call me, they want to get pre-approved for a house. We go through everything, I send them the pre-approval. And so depending on where you are regionally, geographically, people tend to wait until the kids are out of school to move. So the months between May and September is when you see a lot of activity with people moving and purchasing homes because they don't like to move the kids from, whatever school they're in. They don't want to cause any type of disruption. So consequently, as you have more people enter the market, housing prices go up because it pushes the supply and demand to a different level. So home prices jumped from May to June. So not only are the mortgage rates more than double what they were 2 years ago, which is what I alluded to a little bit earlier, but the typical asking price for a home has fallen less than 1%. Let's focus. Less than 1% from June's all-time high, $449,000. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I remember in 2001 when I graduated from high school, we got senior books. And in my senior book, part of it is you talk about like what your dreams and hopes and aspirations were going to be. So what you want to be when you grow up. And I distinctly remember writing in my book that I wanted to live in a $250,000 house because, baby, a $250,000 house in 2001, a basketball player was going to be in the neighborhood. Yes, he was. But now, regular people are living in houses that are $450,000. That's nearly $500,000 for regular schmegular go and clock in at Bank of America job, take my kid to soccer practice on Wednesdays, my daughter to ballet on Thursdays type people. $449,000, almost $500,000. So what they thought was supposed to happen was that, surely we push up the interest rates. That's going to force the prices to plummet. They're going to fall. Oh my. It didn't happen. And it's not going to happen. Okay, anyway. So even though home prices have headed south for the past 5 weeks in a row, which again, there's shades of language here. So when you say that, it's certain imagery that gets conjured up, which is just factually inaccurate. Headed south sounds like it's plummeting, but it's not. It says it's going at a painfully glacial pace for buyers. That is correct. The home price is only 0.2% lower last year from the week ending July 8th. That means it's the same price. That's what that means. That means because if Nordstrom was having a sale and they told me that I could get 0.2% off of an item, I'm gonna stay in the bed. I'm gonna stay in my bed. I'm not at all going to get out of the bed for that. No, it's not gonna happen. So the prices are effectively the same. So despite the year over year dip, June's median home list price was 445, which is up slightly from May's 441. And again, that's all because the kids are going back to school. If you are indeed someone that is in the housing market or you're considering purchasing a home, I'm gonna tell you now, the best time for you to purchase a home is the winter months. So right after the kids go back to school, so I would say November, December, January, those are going to be your months because it never fails. People are like, oh, I got to get my family in for Thanksgiving, or I got to travel for Thanksgiving, or whatever it is. And then you sliding into Christmas. Christmas, everybody's saving their money because they got to buy the kids gifts. Santa Claus has to come to town. And then in January, you kind of trying to pay your credit card debt down that you accrued for the months of November and December. And so that's the cycle. So if you're trying to think about catching the market when it is truly dipping, I would say anything from, say, November to about February is going to be your sweet spot, especially in, like I said, the months of like December, January, because people are too focused on Christmas versus focusing on moving and purchasing a home. Now, if you want to buy your bae or your boo a house for Christmas, I'm available. I'm licensed in 13 states. I'm happy to help you with that. But so let's talk about the home supply problem. We all know that it is a home supply problem. And I can tell you definitively, based on a conversation I had with someone from Freddie Mac yesterday, I don't think Washington, D.C. is fully aware of what's happening. And it is not on their radar, and they don't have any plans to try to intervene to try to fix the problem. So as for why home prices simply won't drop significantly, it's the ongoing chicken and the egg problem of tight inventory. High mortgage rates would have been, have would-be sellers sitting on the sidelines, enjoying their low rates from the past few years. And then on the other side of that, you got the buyers that's like, oh, I can't afford this. This is too much. So I'm going to wait until the home prices go down. Until the rates go down for me to buy a house, which unfortunately is going to result in the purchase price going up. So there is no special formula that's going to make homes more affordable. And if I can say so, and this is something that I've been thinking about, and I've said it kind of politely, but if you are in the housing market, like if you really have an interest to purchase a home, in America, we have a problem of, they used to say the rich gets richer and the poor get poorer. That middle space is getting wider and wider and wider, particularly when it comes to the opportunity for home ownership. If I'm telling you that the median is $445,000, there is no mathematical pathway for it to ever go down to $250,000 again. There is no interest rate that's going to allow for a $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 payment, regardless of what the rates are. If the prices are nearly $500,000, that's where we are. That's what it's going to be. The only way to offset something like that is income. And that's significantly easier said than done. But that is the problem that we seem to be facing right now. And so because they're not building houses that are at a lower price point, partially because they need the profits that come with the larger purchase prices, it costs a lot of money to grade the land and do all of the things to be able to get some of these neighborhoods ready for construction. then the cost of materials are through the roof. The only way that we will ever see the median price come down in a significant way to allow someone that earns $45,000 a year, $50,000 a year to easily own a home again is if the federal government steps in and offers some sort of tax incentives or subsidizes these costs in some way. And I can tell you now, it is not on Joe Biden's list of things to do. I've not seen any talking points anywhere, not just from a national level, but all the way down to a local level, of anyone having a conversation about the way that the housing market has gotten just completely out of control. The Fed chair, Jerome Powell, who again is ruining my life. I've completely caught a stray bullet, okay? From his need to raise the interest rates because he's thinking by raising the rates, it's going to drive the housing prices down. And it's just factually inaccurate. It's not going to happen. And he cannot undo the damage that he caused by leaving the interest rates so low for so long. But nonetheless, as a result, potential home buyers are experiencing another grim real estate data point. Active inventory fell 5% for the week ending July 8th compared to the prior year. And the article continues to go on and on and on, where it talks about inflation and mortgages. Inflation is coming down a little bit. And I guess that's kind of a glimmer of hope because as inflation falls, so will the interest rates. But here again, you can either get a $450,000 house or you can't, because moving the payment from $4,000 a month to $3,600 a month is still high. It's still, in my opinion, high. It may not be high to you, but I think that's kind of high. But historically, that's what has happened. So low inflation means lower rates, according to the National Association of Realtors. It would decelerate the consumer prices. And it's not going to change anything, y'all. It's not going to change anything. I don't know what else to say. One thing that I did come across, and hi everybody that has come in since I've been reading and talking. If you don't mind, just go ahead and hit the like button for me, please. Thank you so very much. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, how are you, sir? Thank you for joining me. But yeah, if you think about the supply and demand issue that we're having, I want to share something with you because I've kind of alluded to it before. There is just no way that the inventory is going to skyrocket and prices are going to plummet. There is no 2008 coming ever again. That was a one-time, once in a lifetime economic crisis that they fixed, and they know how to make sure it does not ever happen again. And it won't. It will not never ever happen again. I want to share, and I hope I'm able to share this. So fingers crossed. Where is the housing inventory? What's happening to the housing inventory? Now, I just told you that the housing inventory the issue can only be fixed if the government gets involved, the federal government gets involved. So what's happening? Let's see if I can hopefully play this for you. Fingers crossed, y'all. I'm going to get more proficient at sharing stuff. I promise. I promise I am. Let's see.
My name is Matt, and I've been helping people make sense of the housing market since everything changed.
Sorry, my bad.
See, as soon as I felt that shift in June of 22, I've been asking why? Why? Where are we going? What's happening? Who has the money? What's going on? Let's start at the end and work our way back. So institutions are supposed to own 40% of all single-family rental homes by 2030. Go ahead and look it up. That is just under 8 million homes. So the reason I asked those questions is because institutions were giving me 10 to 12 offers on every home over what anybody else would pay. And that's when rates were low. And of course, we all know home values went up, way up. So like he says in his video, it doesn't make sense to anyone because nobody on here feels like they can afford it. However, they can, and they were ready. We do more research and we find out that the big players like Elon Musk are building entire company towns. So the big players enter the chat and they're building company towns for all their employees, not for them to own. They want to own it because they know supply is low. And if they can own these homes, they can profit. And of course, you can't do everything the same. So Bezos had to go ahead and say, I'm not going to do that for my employees. What I'm going to do is say, hey, give me $100, invest with me. I'll go out there and buy and build and fund entire new neighborhoods specifically for rent.
None of this makes sense.
Hello.
So, what do y'all think about that? In 7 years, because when I first read it, it was when I first heard it and they said 2030, I was like, oh, that's in like 50 years. That's in like 40 years. That's not today. That's in 7 years. So in 7 years, 4 out of 10 homes, like single family homes, like neighborhood homes, like a D.R. Horton Homes neighborhood, Lennar, Ryan Homes neighborhoods, are going to be owned by institutional investors. Institutional investors. Let's talk about what that is. So you got regular people like me that might have 1 or 2 investment properties because, I might have lived in one, made it a rental property, moved into another one, turned that one into a rental. Now I might be on my 3rd home. So little old me might have 2 other houses. Institutional investors is Wall Street, basically. It's these major companies, major corporations that have way more money than I'll ever dream of having. And they can go in and they can buy up the block. D.R. Horton, Ryan Homes, Lennar, some of these neighborhoods, they're building out 250 single family home developments for the explicit purpose of renting them, 100% of them. So it sounds all good, if you're like, oh, my credit trash, I want to live in a 5-bedroom house, 3,000 square feet. Oh, it sounds good for that scenario. But when you think about it, when these people make investments, they're looking at investments not like we don't look at investments the way that they do. They're looking at the long game. This is what they're going to have to make them money 30, 40, 50 years from now. We want to buy a house for today. We want to buy a house for right now. We want to buy a house for, I might be able to get $50,000 in a year. That's not how the housing market works. When you purchase a home, you should purchase a home because you want to have a place to live. You want some stability. And if the market goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, it goes down, whatever. And over the life of the loan or lifetime that you have the house, obviously it is going to go up in value. But they're looking at it like, we don't care what the market do. We can lose $100,000 on this house. Who cares? We still gonna own it in 20 years. The market's coming back up. It does not matter. 40% of homes are going to be rental properties. That's kind of scary. At least it is to me, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it, but what do y'all think about that? 40% of homes, 4 out of 10 houses are going to be rental properties in the next 7 years. Meaning they already started buying these houses. And that means they're going to continue to buy these houses. They're going to keep buying them and they're going to keep renting them. And there's always going to be somebody to rent to because they're going to always have somebody to rent to. What does that mean? If I am, and again, I don't know if y'all have D.R. Horton or not. I have no earthly idea, but I'm going to use him as an example. And I'm sorry, D.R. Horton, if you catching a stray on this, I don't mean nothing by it. Y'all are fine builders, I guess. If I'm D.R. Horton or whoever, or Lennar, whoever I am, ABC billion-dollar company, Jeff Bezos, whoever, and I buy up 200 acres of land. And I don't know how many houses fit on 200 acres, but just humor me. If I decide I want to put 2,000, I don't know, does that math make sense? If I put, I don't know, 2. If I decided I want to put, I don't know, 2,000 houses, I have no idea if that fits, but on 2,000 houses on these acres of land, and I decide I'm going to rent them all out. And let's say that I have 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 3,000 square foot situations. And I decide, you know what? So I make sure that I break even and everything is paid and everything is all good. And I decide, okay, I think $3,000 is a good number. Or I think $3,500 is a good number. I have now set the market for how much rent is going to be. Me, by myself, as this major company. Now, little old Joy, with her little 1 or 2 rental properties, I can't do that. I don't have the power to have that much influence over the market, but these institutional investors are. So that means that this is going to not only impact the amount of homes that are able to be bought, that means that it's going to impact the amount of rent that people are paying from month to month that are unable to buy. Paul says, having a free and clear mortgage and in the retired years makes life livable on retirement alone. People are going to be screwed. Yeah. I agree. I can't move. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't move. I can't go nowhere. Vaughn Holloway. Hi, Vaughn. Isn't that what Open Door did when the rates were low? I'm not really sure what Open Door did. I do know that it didn't quite work out. It didn't work out though. Okay. David Carmina is in the chat. He's in real estate. And David, you can, if you want to attest to this, please let me know. There is a movement that's happening right now. And it is an anti-realtor movement that's happening right now, where a lot of several major companies are trying to be innovative and try and figure out ways to completely cut realtors out of the real estate industry altogether. Now, I could go on for hours about what's going on. There's a lawsuit that's happening, and I think I'll save that for another day, which I personally feel like that is going to change the entire face of the way real estate is bought and sold. But those companies, Zillow, Open Door, they trying it. I don't think they bought houses. I just think that did they buy houses? I can't remember if they bought houses or not. But I mean, it was definitely a way to try to get people to be able to, I guess, save money. But I don't know. They didn't hold the properties though. They didn't hold the properties. I think if they bought them, they tried to turn them for a little bit of a profit and then sell them and get rid of them. When I purchased my home, it was Open Door, and now in my neighborhood there are 2 houses that have renters. Yes, but now for sale from Open Door. Okay. I know I watched Zillow. Like now they're not doing this anymore. Zillow was like, oh, that didn't work out the way we hoped. So they jumped out of it. But I remember literally sitting right here in this seat, and it was a house across the street. They put it on the market like May the 21st, and then they bought it for like, I don't know, I'm making this number up, but follow me on this. They bought it for like $450, and then like 7 days later they put it on the market for like $30,000 or $40,000 more. And I was like, they put no doorknobs, like they didn't paint, because I could see out my window every single day. What did you do to this house? So I know that they were going in and claiming to do stuff and try to turn a profit that way. Yes. That is true. Yeah, $4,000 a lot, and it would require you to have a couple of jobs and a side hustle in most cases. That again, I'm being hit with the stray here. That's not the way that Jerome Powell, which is the Fed chair who sets the interest rates, that's not what he predicted to happen at all. Hey, King, thanks for joining me. We're just chatting a little bit about what's going on with this housing market and how it's up and it's stuck. Very much so. So, yeah, it's going to take quite a lot for you to be able to afford that in terms, I mean, depending on how much money you make. I mean, I don't know. But for most people, it's going to take a couple of incomes to be able to comfortably afford something like that. Yeah, as soon as the people moved out, it was a for sale sign. But yeah, they have the money to do it. Some of these companies, though, they were able to go in and they lost money. Don't matter to them. They ain't care. I mean, they bet the farm on one thing happening and it didn't quite work out that way. The monthly sticker shock in Florida, especially with the higher interest plus double insurance rates. Yeah. It's like that in North Carolina too. And I actually do have some data here for North Carolina. Now, y'all, I live in Charlotte, 704. You know, I'm loud about it. In my market, I can tell you, like I said, when I was in middle school, I thought for sure, I was like, yeah. I mean, I was in high school. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give me a $250,000 house. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. I thought I was gonna be rich. Oh, I didn't know what I was talking about. So the Charlotte region includes multiple counties: Alexander, Anson, Cabarrus County, Catawba County, Cleveland, Gaston, Iredell, Lincoln, Mecklenburg is where Charlotte is, Rowan, Stanley, and Union counties. And then there's a couple of counties in South Carolina, Chester, Chesterfield, Lancaster, and York counties. Some of these are more affluent areas. But if you remember last week when I talked to you about the median price, okay, this is the median sales price for all of this area combined, okay? Everything that I'm sharing at this moment includes all of that region. So that means it includes the super, super popular Charlotte and then more rural areas like Rowan County, Stanley County, counties that, you know, we used to laugh at back in the day. But not so much now because the builders are pushing people out and they're starting to go out there and build different price points. Okay. So last week I mentioned that you have to be really careful about who you're listening to when they're giving you some of this data and they're talking about, oh, this crash is coming, this crash is here. And they talk about how prices are plummeting and the median sales price is down. This whole report is, you read it like this. The entire report, this side is 2022 and this is 2023. So you got year over year. And then it shows whatever the change is. And so the median price you see has gone down overall 2.5%. Why did it go down? Does that mean that people are losing value in the homes? No, it does not. Remember, I said median is all of the price points. So all the way, let's say a $30 million house, all the way down to a $50,000 house. Whatever that middle number is the median. So if more people are buying up here, then that means that the median is going to go up. If more people are buying down here, year over year, and these numbers are going lower, that means that it's going to come down. Okay. So you just don't have as many people that can get up here as they can be down here. So more people are buying down here. Understand? So overall, the median is 389.9, and the average, which is when you add up all of the houses that have been sold and you divide by the numbers been sold, $487,755 is the average for this area. Now, again, I live in Charlotte, so I can't really speak about some of these other counties. I have to do a little bit more research, but I want you to see. Can I break it down to just Charlotte, Mecklenburg County? The city of Charlotte, 704. How much does it cost to live in Charlotte? How much money do you need to be prepared to spend to move to the city of Charlotte, not the outskirts? Like the actual Charlotte. Are you from Charlotte? Do you live in Charlotte, not Charlotte adjacent? Median sales price is $431,000. The average, $580,000. It is up. Both of these numbers are up year over year, 8.9% and 2.5%. That's a lot. And look at this, the average list price. So let's talk about this, because when we start talking about this crash is coming, and when we start talking about can't nobody afford that. Okay, watch this. List price is I want to sell my house. Let me put a number on it to put it on the market. That's this number right here. That's this number right here. 567,121 average. Well, guess what? Last year, people were getting above what they were asking. This year, they're getting right at about what they're asking. Y'all see that? And so the actual sales price is 580 compared to that 567. So people are getting what they're asking for. So there is nothing plummeting. It's not happening. Nothing is plummeting. Nothing is going down. You know what's going down? The number of houses on the market. This time last year, so last June, there were 2,026 homes that were listed. This year, we're down 33%. Now it's only 1,368. And again, I say, I'm getting hit with the stray because the interest rates are so high. It was designed to slow everything down and get the prices down. But as you can see, the prices are not going down at all. No, the only thing that's happening is less homes available. And so because there are less homes available, that means, and less pending sales and less closed sales, I'm the victim in all of this. I'm the victim. I hate it here. I think I'm gonna email Jerome because he's ruining my life. But no, all jokes aside, we knew coming into the year, because they always make these projections of what's this year gonna look like. We knew coming into the year there would be fewer units on the market, but we didn't care because overall the volume, which is the dollar amount of sales, was going to be up. And so last month, Freddie Mac actually adjusted the dollar amount higher than what they projected at the beginning of the year. So it's up and it's stuck. I don't know what else to say. It's not sexy to say this. It's not say it's nothing anybody wants to hear, and it could be downright disappointing. If I'm gonna be totally honest with you, I had a moment last week where I was in despair. I was down in despair. I was like, Lord, Lord, what's going on? Where is the light at the end of the tunnel? And I really processed my thoughts because I'm very reflective. And I believe that people believed that when we said, oh, there's a correction happening in the market, I too, even though I got all the data in the world, but I don't know where and why I thought this, but I believe when people heard or hear, oh, there's a correction happening in the housing market, I believe that they thought that meant that life was going to go back to the way it was in 2019. Because I ain't gonna lie, I think that's what I was thinking a little bit. I did. I thought when they said correction, I believe that I was thinking, oh, it's going to be easier for people to buy houses and it's going to be more people buying. This is going to be great. I can't wait. This is fine. Like I can weather the storm. This is going to be okay. But that's not what the data bears. The data is not supporting that theory at all. The data is suggesting this is it. We're here. We are at the future now, today, right now. This is it. There is no better coming. Only an adjustment in the attitude toward buying, and only a mental adjustment toward feeling okay with what you're getting for the money. That is the correction. That is the adjustment that is going to have to be made. There is no $150,000 house. Not in Charlotte. I just showed you that, right? Now, real estate is local. So if you are in a smaller area, now I did have someone earlier this week that lives in a different area of America show me what they were able to get for the money. I think 3,500 square feet for $280,000, last year or 2 years ago. We don't have it. So if you happen to be in an area where, $175,000, $200,000 is good for you, that's great. But I would dare ask, what was it before? Was the average like 100,000? Because if you double it, now you're at 200,000. While we're like, yes, that's amazing. I would love to have that again. It may very well be that, in places like that, it's still out of reach for the people in that area. That is what I would dare say, because incomes are different depending upon what area you're in, because everything is local. The incomes relative to the purchase prices, it's local. I would never, Lord, please don't let houses get to be $1 million in Charlotte. But in New York City, it's normal. They're not crying and complaining about it. Their average rent is over $5,000. So one way or another, you're going to be there. You got to adjust your thinking. You got to adjust your attitude toward the market. And instead of rolling your eyes and saying, I ain't never. Okay. You ain't never. Because it's not going to change. And like I said, I hate it. I hate it here. I hate it here. Lord knows I do. But this is a reality. So what are we going to do to make those adjustments? As we've had COVID, the gig economy, and people that own businesses has gone through the roof. So things look different. Incomes look different now than they did before. And so I say that to say there are all types of loan products that are available that are allowing those people to get into the market too. Whereas before they weren't able to because they weren't filing taxes. I have a loan right now, today, that I can offer. If you got 20% down and you want to buy an investment property, I don't have to look at your income. No income. It's a no income loan. So there is a market that is buying houses, and it's the people with the money that's buying the houses. Paul says, have you been seeing sellers offering 2-1 buy downs to entice buyers, or buyers asking? Yes, I have. I was actually going to talk about that, but I'll talk about it now. Thank you. I had a question during the week asking, was it better to get a 2-1 or 3-1 buy down, or to buy the rate down? And I forgot how much they said it cost to buy the rate down. Let me see if I can find it. But I have my opinion on that. Let me see. Where's the question? So the question, okay. So the person said they were quoted 7.25% interest rate and wanted to know if they should do a 2-1 buy down that will cost $7,250, or spend $9,500 to get a 6.625 rate. So for those of you that do not know, what'd you say? I feel like buyers should absolutely not buy down right now. And I think we're on the same page. So for those of you that do not know, do me a favor so I can have a general idea. If you could just put a 1 in the chat. Have you ever heard of a buy down or heard of discount points before? Because I mean, I can do a quick lesson real fast, but I don't want to belabor it if y'all already know all of that. So put on 1 if you have heard of it, or put a 2 if you've never heard of any of that. Is that what I just said? Yeah. That was it. Yeah. Put on 1 in the chat if you have heard of buy downs or discount points, or put a 2 if you have never ever heard of those terms a day in your life. You have no idea what I'm talking about, what we're talking about. Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Come on. Yeah, I need y'all to interact with me. I could talk. I be talking. I could talk, but I need y'all to talk back to me, please. Thank you. 2. All right, let's go. Hey, Mr. CKB. 3, 4, 5. You're so dramatic. Okay. So, as I said a little bit earlier, there are a lot of new ways that lenders are trying to come up with, well, not new, remixed ways of old ways that lenders are trying to come up with to make buying a house appear to be more affordable than what it is. Spoiler alert. There is no such thing. What tends to happen in my experience is people want to see what they want to see. For example, whenever you go to the store and something is on sale and it's $99.99. So it's $99.99. To you, psychologically, that's so much cheaper than $100. It's the same number. But psychologically, it's not. You feel better about that purchase. Well, again, spoiler alert, this is a sales job. Buying real estate, getting loans, it is a sales job. It is our job to sell you the sizzle. We want to serve it up on a platter to get you to be like, oh, this is great. I'll take 2. Right? And so, strangely enough, I don't know of any other arena where we talk about finances and the only thing that's talked about is rate. I don't. And it's not any one person's fault. I don't know who started it, but consumers are driven by rate, not by payment. You go to the car lot, you get you a new car, a used car, your rate 26%, and you got a $500 payment on a Nissan Sentra. You're totally okay with that. Totally fine. Because when you went in, you said, I don't want my payment to be no more than $450. And then they convinced you $5 was a good idea. Nope, $499. Okay? You happy. But nowhere in there do you say, oh, it's 26% interest. Oh my God. Right? Only in housing do we do that, which is relatively interesting. And so, because our job is to sell you the sizzle, we figured out ways to package it to make you feel more comfortable with the loan. So the question is, I guess, which is better, right? The question is, the guy says he was quoted a 7.25% interest rate, but was to do a 2-1 buy down, or should he do a regular buy down, permanent interest rate buy down for $9,500? So whenever you do a buy down, that means that you are spending your money or somebody's money to get a lower rate, either for the life of the loan, which is 30 years, or temporarily. So let's start with regular discount points. This is what most people were aware of prior to a year and a half ago, because I didn't know what it was until a year and a half ago. It was something that they offered before I got into mortgage. But so a permanent interest rate buy down discount points is when you pay cash money of your own up front to get an interest rate that's lower than the market rate, that over the life of the loan, you will be able to save money on interest for the next, 30 years or so. Most people get a 30-year loan. Buy down, which is a 3-2-1 or 2-1 buy down, will oftentimes be advertised as get a 5.25% interest rate today. That's all you see. You don't ask no more questions. You like, they giving me a 5.25 interest rate. That's all you hear. That's it. That's y'all. And you know that's y'all. Come on now. Yeah. You know it. That's all you see. That's all you hear. You don't want to know no more. You happy. You thrilled. You like, I don't won the lottery. No, you did not. The interest rate works like this with a regular, and I'm flip-flop. So I just described both. So now let me give you the details on the permanent buy down. In this particular example, in any example, whenever you buy the rate down, interest rates come in 1/8%. For example, 7%, 7.125, 7.25, 7.375, and so on and so on. You see. Generally speaking, when people hear points or discount points, they think of it in increments of 1% or buying a point. You don't have to spend money on a full point. It could be less than that. But to make this easy, let's say it's 1 full point. 1 point is equivalent in cash for you to spend of 1% of your loan amount. So in this example, well, no, that's not a good example. So if you are getting a house, let's say the house is $450,000, And let's say $450,000. Okay. And let's just pretend that your interest rate is 7%. And you're like, Joy, I want to buy my rate down, because that's what people always say. And I'll say, okay, well, what kind of rate you trying to get to? And you say, I want to get a 6.75% rate. Because again, you feel better because it doesn't say 7, not because you're saving this huge amount of money. So because you're buying a $450,000 home, again, I'm just follow the example. It would cost you 1%, which would be $4,500 of your money to go from a 7% rate to a 6.75. Where people tend to fall down on the job of feeling like they've saved money, and this is a real life example I'm about to tell. I had a lady and a man. It was a couple. They were buying a $690,000 house. This is a true story. Jesus. $690,000 house. And they were penny pinching. I was like, anyway, my feelings are neither here nor there. And they were trying to figure out how to get the lowest payment possible. I mean, frankly, very delusional, if I'm going to be honest, because they were wanting a payment of like $3,000 a month. Not going to happen. Maybe 3 years ago. Long story short, they were wanting to spend $5,000 to buy a rate down. I didn't offer this. Somebody else offered it to them. $5,000 to, I'm sorry. They were getting $10,000 from the seller in seller concessions. And then they wanted to put another $5,000 of their own money to buy the rate down even more. Because again, it's not because they couldn't afford the payment. It just was going to make them feel good. And this is why I say that. And I'm not saying it to be facetious. I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm not saying it to whatever. I'm saying it in an objective manner because I understand people and I understand psychology. People want what makes them feel good. They want to feel like they won. In this particular case, that little $5,000, y'all, $5,000 on a $690,000 house is nothing. It is peanuts. Literally, it is nothing. I did the math on it, and it was going to take them, I think, like 48 months, 47 months to get that $5,000 back. That's called a break-even point. So a break-even point means if I give you $100 and I'm going to save $5 a month, that means I need to make 20 payments just to get back to that original zero amount of me not giving you that extra $100. People look at it and they're like, oh, but I'm gonna save so much money. Here's the gag. No one keeps a loan for 30 years. Nobody keeps a loan for 30 years, y'all. It's never going to happen. You will never keep that loan for 30 years. Ever. Under no circumstances. Ever. Nobody does. You may very well live in the house. Highly unlikely, but hey, whatever you think, whatever you say, you might even keep the house because you've moved on and you want to keep it as an investment, whatever. But I can guarantee you, and I have data to support this, you're not going to keep that loan for 30 years. It makes zero sense to spend money to buy a rate down that you're not going to be able to get your money back. And honestly, I would say if you're going to do that and you're going to get your money back, I would say your break even should not be no more than maybe about 36 months. And the reason why I say that is this. Again, let's go to my example. So on a $450,000 house, you buy your rate down from a 7% to a 6.75. Let's pretend, because I don't know, I didn't do the math. Let's say it saves you $60, $50 a month, $60 a month. Okay. You buy that house today, July of 2023. If the interest rates go down, if it's going to take you 48 months to get your money, get that original money back, that $4,500 back. Y'all, if the interest rates go down in 12 months, in 18 months, you're going to completely forget all about the fact that you spent all of that money up front. You done forgot. You have no idea. You don't remember. You know why you don't remember? Because you got the keys in your hand. You done forgot everything that happened during that transaction. You done forgot the fact that you cried. You done forgot the fact that you didn't sleep for a week. You done forgot the fact that you had to spend extra money because your loan didn't close on time. You forgot everything. Only thing that you know is you got keys in your hand. And never mind how you got the keys. You just know you got keys in your hand. It's kind of like when you have a baby. Men, y'all don't know, but ladies, y'all feel me. The reason why we're able to have babies over and over, because I believe that God blocks out our memory to remember how painful that day truly was. I mean this. People forget. They get the keys and they forget everything about every single thing that happened that led you to that point. So when you are getting into a situation where you want to buy discount points, I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to show you the math, but I'm also going to tell you this. Hey, you go probably want to refinance when the rates go down. And oh, by the way, those refinance costs are your business. That's not mine. We might cover your lender fee, but we're not going to cover all your fees. We're not going to give you another $5,000 or $6,000 to help you refinance. So effectively, you're really in the hole. So you got to be careful about that. Now, I'm going to say this statement with an asterisk, because the way that the market has been moving, more often than not, people are getting quoted interest rates with points. And the reason why they're getting quoted interest rates with points is because that's what the market is dictating. That's what the investors are demanding, because they know that that day is going to come where everybody starts refinancing again. So the investors are the people in the background. People, I don't know these people. I ain't never met them. It's what happens after the loan closes, because we got to sell it to the secondary market so we can get our money back, so we can continue to lend. It's a cycle. It's a circle. Okay. Those investors are expecting to make money on the loan that they bought. They're expecting you as a borrower to make so many payments. They're generally expecting about 7 years or so of payments to be made. Okay. That's what it is. But when you got interest rates that plummet and then you got a runoff and everybody's refinancing, the investor, they done lost their little change. They didn't get the money. So, but they're looking at, hey, pay us up front. We get some money and keep it pushing. What I need you guys to understand is come on, somebody. Tell the people, girl. Let them know. See, she knows. She said, I'm glad you were honest with me when I asked about buying a rate down. It is the truth. It only happens because it's really a feel-good mechanism. It doesn't, when we know that the interest rates are going down, and I just shared an article with you talking about how inflation is coming down, and as inflation comes down, so goes the interest rates. At this point, the only person or only people that may have made sense for to buy the rate down was somebody that got a 3% rate and they bought it down to 2.5. They're never going to get out of that loan, ever. Now, they are going to keep that loan for 30 years. And even then, it's kind of like, buy it down for what? It's already low, right? So that's how discount points work. Before I move forward, please, let's stop here. Questions about discount points, because discount points, it only saves you a few dollars a month. You invest thousands to save a few dollars a month. for a few months. The way that is really I mean, that's in practicality. I'm being practical. Theoretically, you spend a few $1,000s up front to save thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. But because we being honest over here, okay, we're not doing smoke and mirrors, you never gonna realize those thousands. It's not gonna happen. Ever. The second you hear CNBC say, and today interest rates are down again. And then you hear it on CNBC, you hear it on Fox News. Oh my God, interest rates are down again. And then a month later, and oh my God, CNN says interest rates are down even more. Oh my gosh, what's going on? I got to get on them lower interest rates. You forget. That's how it works. So those are discount points now, okay? So discount points, you save a few dollars a month over the life of the loan, but you ain't never going to keep it for the life of the loan. That's true. If you do that, you have to be mindful that you are not going, Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I totally lost my train of thought. My bad. Paul, that was very sweet. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. But yeah, y'all, you have to keep in mind that if you want to do that and you going all in and you like, well, you don't know that the rate's gonna go down, because that's what happened with my 690,000 people. And I tried to say, I was like, look, now y'all penny pinching, and you said that you wanted to save some money up front. I don't recommend that you do this. And they was like, no, we're gonna do it. Okay. That's fine. Oh, and then this is the other thing that I do want to let you all know what's happening. In their situation, I explained this to them as well. Most lenders right now are going to offer you to cover their lender fees or cover their fees, or they might phrase it as a free refinance when the rates go down if you buy now. What will happen is this, y'all. A mortgage lender is not an attorney, not a credit reporting agency. We're not the tax. We're not the government. We're not none of that. We cannot tell the appraiser that they can't charge you money on an appraisal when you do your refinance. The one and only thing that we control on that entire piece of paper when you get a loan estimate is our lender fee. So if you are purchasing a home and somebody's saying, oh, well, you should get the house, you get your loan with us, we're going to pay your fees when you refinance, they're lying. That is not possible. There is no lender. That means, you know what that means? That means that they're going to go in a hole. That means they're not going to make any money on your loan. And if they're not making no money on your loan and the next loan and the other 10,000 loans after you, that means that they're out of business. So you got to be careful about the way that, again, we selling a sizzle. When it's presented to you on a plate, be mindful. Think about it. The only thing, and I'll tell you, my company, we'll cover your lender fee. I mean, what's $1,500 or whatever? I think $1,300. I don't know how much fee is, but that's not a lot. That's not a lot at all. It's nothing. It's pennies. But now if we're gonna give you $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to do your refinance. That does not make any sense at all. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Thank you, Mama Bear. I appreciate you. Mama Bear, I just had it on my phone. She just gave me a $10 cash app. Thank you, baby. Mwah. I appreciate you a lot. Thank y'all for sitting with me through this rant of mine. Okay, so can we move forward on this? As far as the discount points, again, discount points, you save this much money for this amount of time, this much money over a few months, over this amount of time, but you never gonna make it to this amount of time. Never, ever, ever, ever. It's not going to happen. The market is up and down. It's in cycles. That's what keeps us in business, is the cycle of up and down. Okay. Not the mortgage boss, she the mortgage educator. Thank you. Don't be gassing me. Don't be hyping me up. But yes, okay. So yeah, I do try to be honest with people about it. Yeah, you can't. So that's a good point. People can't keep a 5-year car loan, much less a 30 or more. That is absolutely correct. Because when I make these statements thinking about consumer behavior. Now, before these prices went up the way that they went up, people would keep a car 3 to 5 years, get in a car about every 3, 4, 5 years. But as y'all know, I don't know if y'all know this, you can get car payments for 96 months now. So the same thing with the mortgage. Prior to all of this, people kept a loan for about 5, 6 years. Because for the biggest part of my adult life, interest rates have been going down. This is my first time ever in my adult life, ever in my lifetime, experiencing interest rates going up. Interest rates was in 18% when I was born. They got all the way down to like 3%, 2.5%. So that's that. That's that on that. Okay. So the second part of the question was the rate buy down. So with the rate buy down, which oftentimes you may hear these things interchanged, but they are two very different things. Buying discount points versus doing a buy down. A buy down is temporary. When you ride past the sign and the DR Horton homes and the Eastwood and the builders, and they got a big old sign that say, get a 5.25% interest rate. And you're like, yeah, girl, I got me a 5.25% interest rate. Ooh, I'm excited. You don't care how you got there. Well, let me tell you how you're going to get there. So in this case of a 2-1 or 3-2-1 buy down, this is what it means. It means temporarily over the period of whatever that leading number is, so whether it's a 3 or 2, for those couple of years, 2 to 3 years, you're going to have a below market interest rate. That is going to be a full percentage point. Now, earlier I said the discount point, if you bought one discount point, which is 1% of the loan amount, it might take you down 0.25% in interest rate. So from a 7 to a 6.75. So in this particular circumstance, if it's a 3-2-1 buy down, let's say we're at 7% again, and you are doing that, that means that the first year, so from this July to next July, so year 1, your rate would be 4% because you take 3 points down. So three percentage points over 3 years. Okay. So you go from the market rate is at 7. Okay. 6, 5, 4. Okay. So the first year you have a 4% interest rate, 4% payment, right? For that first year, that 1 year. I don't know how old y'all are, but these years don't go by slow like they did when we was in the 4th grade. Okay. These years be going. They be gone. They be flying. What? How is it August? How did we? Why is my kid 14? You could. Oh my God! You want to drive a car? You almost 15 years old. I was changing your diaper 3 weeks ago. What's going on? Right? 1 year, you'll have a 4% rate. Year 2, it bumps up to 5%. Year 3, it bumps up to 6%. At the beginning of year 4, you are back to whatever the market rate was that you signed up for when you got your loan. Is that a good idea? What do y'all think? Tell me what y'all y'all let's talk about it before we go further. If you could get a 4% interest rate just for a year, would you take it? I want to know. Would you take it, and tell me why you would take it? I'm curious. It's just for a year. It's a temporary buy down. So while y'all chatting it up, because I need y'all to talk back to me. Understand this. The way that it works is the seller will give you some money in seller concessions, and you can choose to apply it to something like this. And so what will happen is it's set aside like in a subsidy fund. So like, I'm not doing a good job. Okay, I'm gonna use this Starbucks cup. Subsidy fund. Okay. And so what will happen is, let's say that over the course of those 3 years, you as the buyer are going to save $10,000. Well, you're going to make your payment. So let's say that first year your payment is $1,000, but you're going to save $300 every month because you got this 4% rate. You going to send in $700, and then we're going to go into this little kitty here, and we're going to add $300 from this subsidy fund. And we're going to put your $700 and this $300. So now we got your $1,000 payment, and now we're going to send it on to the investor. And we're going to do this every single month. Okay? We're going to do this we're going to dip in it every single month for 36 months or 24 months, depending on if you do a 3-2-1 buy down or a 2-1 buy down. When this money is gone, remember, every year you were going up and up and up in payment. When the money is gone, you still owe this 7% rate. But here's the gotcha. Oh, let me see what y'all said. You said if you're not locked in, if you could still refi after if the seller pays for it. Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely refinance everything. She said, no, I want to know my exact payment. So the thing is, here's my beef, right? Here's my beef. It's a little bit predatory. Nope. I need stronger language than that. It's a lot of bit predatory. And different loan products are designed for different people. And when I say different people, I'm not talking about race or anything like that. I'm talking about the VA loan product is designed for veterans. I'm talking about the USDA loan is designed for people in rural areas. The FHA loan is designed. These products, everything is designed with a specific group of people in mind. When you start talking about a buy down, like a 3-2-1 or a 2-1 buy down, we're talking about financially responsible people. Child, not my bedtime. We're talking about financially responsible people. We're not talking about people that you got to trick them into buying a house. The reason why this is somewhat good is because that first year of home ownership is the most expensive year of home ownership. You got to get a refrigerator. You might got to buy some blinds. You might need a washer and dryer, furniture. You need to just kind of get adjusted to making these payments and adjusting other things in your life. The reason why I say it's predatory is because, again, y'all remember before when I said when people get their keys in their hand, you get your keys and you instantly get amnesia. Instant amnesia. Like you ain't even walked out the door from the attorney's office and you forgot everything. When you have that 4% rate or whatever that lower rate is, and you made your first payment, your second payment, your third payment, and you completely forgot why this is your payment, and you not thinking about the fact that your payment gonna go up a little bit next year, and you comfortable, you good, you like, oh my God, I'm rich, bitch. Like you got it. You look at me, everybody. And then, inevitably you go and you get a new car. Because what's a new garage without a new car? Right? Or just life happens. Things come up in life. You had to get the dishwasher and the washer and dryer or the blind. You had to swipe the credit card for that. So even though we qualify you at that 7% rate, if that's not put into practice, you forgot. You don't know. You don't remember. Which is normal. Like, there's nothing wrong. Y'all, listen, I'm not casting aspersions. I'm speaking as somebody that I understand. That's why I'm saying it's predatory, because if you are a regular person, you are already getting by paycheck to paycheck. Like, let's be honest. Even you could be making $350,000 a year and still be getting by paycheck to paycheck. It's a thing. It's a whole thing, y'all. So the reason why I say it's predatory is because you're going to forget inevitably. You then got it in your head. You're like, oh, this my payment is low. You feel good. It's an emotional buy. Anytime you're talking about something in sales, we are playing with your emotions a little bit, y'all. Like, and I mean, I don't know how else to say it. There's an element of we playing with your emotions, propaganda. And so in this case, we using everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing a buy down now. You should too. Well, heaven forbid you feel left out. You got to jump on the bandwagon too. You don't want to be stuck with a high payment and you accidentally tell your friends and your friends are like, oh my God, your payment's that high? Yeah, I'm balling, bitch. What? Don't play with me. It's a flex. Stop playing with me. It's so funny to me though. Like, people, we love to flex about a lot of things and how much money we spend on cars and bags and trips. But baby, oh my God, when it comes to where you sleep at night, And so to Paul's point, and I have to say this. She said it sounds like an arm. An arm is longer though. So an arm, you could keep the rate for 5 years or 7 years. So you're not having to really monitor it in the same way. So if the interest rates come down, which again, like I explained that cycle, it's okay. Not just refinance, because you might not be able to, but hopefully you'll be able to. But that's a little bit longer because that fixed rate part it lasts longer than just 1 year. Especially for builders, super predatory. They advertise yes, they do. Yes, they can. And the way that it shows up on the loan estimate, it will say a 30-year fixed rate. So yeah, you gotta be careful about it, because that thing will go up on you and you'll be like, why did my rate go up? Because you didn't read, because you was all hot and bothered because you thought you was getting something special and you not. Y'all, that's the thing. When it comes to rates, no one is going to be able to just offer you this like drastically different number than the first person that you talk to. The question really should be, can I afford the payment? Don't worry about the rate. Now, granted, I understand that this is my job to tell people that. I get it. I understand. I know. She only saying that because I know. I get it. But that's the reality. Do you write a check every month that say 7.5? No, you don't. Show me a check that you have written ever in your life that says such and such %, because it doesn't exist. the payment is the most important thing to you. Yeah, Joy, but the interest rate has something to do with the payment. I ain't asked you all that. I said, are you comfortable with the payment? If you're comfortable with the payment, regardless of how you got there, can you afford it? Is it something that works for you and your household? That's it. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, you will. Yeah, that low. Yeah, it works that first year, and then after that, I don't know what to tell you. Right now, keep doing what you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's kind of the tea on that. So, which actually leads me to what I was about to talk about next. When people are getting into these loans, you talking about your principal interest payment, your property taxes, your homeowners insurance, and your mortgage insurance, and or your HOAs. Oh, y'all, hold on. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Hang on. My battery gonna die on my laptop. Oh. Hold on. Okay. I'll get to it in a second. When I put this on. Okay. So, y'all, I saw this article a while ago, and I think I've talked about this, but I think it's important now that we're talking about these payments. This came out a few months ago. 90% of homeowners didn't realize how expensive it was going to be to own a house. It's high. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's expensive to own a home. A lot of times people feel like, oh, well, I can just. No, it ain't no I can just. It's cheaper to buy than rent. No, not all the time. Maybe over, the lifetime, like, of the loan, right? Like, my mortgage payment, I bought my house in 2017. My mortgage payment at the time, I was like boohoo crying about it. It was like, I think almost $1,800. And then I refinanced, so then it went down to like 16. I don't know, it's drafted out, something like that. But I went from paying $1,250 a month in rent to that. So it was like a huge leap for me. But over the past 6 years, almost 6 years, it's worked out because now most people that pay rent, their rent is higher than that. So when we're talking about the buy down, look at this. Most of the time people are getting these homes and like they have no idea. They having remorse. They had no idea how much it was really going to cost them. So you got property taxes, renovations, because everybody loves a fixer-upper, utilities, because your house is probably bigger than your apartment. So that means that your energy costs are going to be more. You may incur a trash bill or water bill that you didn't have before. Roof work, Lord, please keep my roof the way it is. I don't want to pay for a new one. But these are old house problems, right? Getting a roof, old house problems. And that could be tens of thousands of dollars. Maintaining the home's appearance, that would be like getting your house pressure washed every year, your driveway and stuff pressure washed every year. Homeowners insurance, all of these things, everything that you see here is costs that are added in that people don't have when they're renting. And so, yes, when you're saying do a 3-2-1 buy down and you want the lowest interest rate, it is very, very appealing because you are incurring all of these other costs that you don't realize that you're going to incur. So, yeah, it's great until it's not great. Aside from mortgages, homeowners say they spent an extra $17,459 in annual expenses. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry, I'm back. $17,000 more, y'all. That's a lot of money. that people are not necessarily prepared to pay. And what will end up happening is you forget. And so now you're at the end of that second, third year, and your payment is $400 or $500 higher, $600 higher, and you totally forgot. You done completely forgot everything. So it is, I mean, I don't know. It's hard, but I don't know. I don't know how y'all feel about it. I'm still all for home ownership and everything, but I'm also for it in a responsible way. Mr. CKB, he says, so why don't banks simply advertise that they can lower your mortgage by $500 or $1,000 as opposed to 5%? Oh, because it's a lot of rules and laws. You have to disclose things certain ways. Like, I can't just arbitrarily, like, really, technically, I'm probably not supposed to be saying different percentages in these examples, but whatever. I mean, if you ever watch one of my videos, I will go way out of my way to say, I am making this up. This is a lie. This is not true. Just to emphasize that I'm not advertising a rate, because you have to have the appropriate context of the rate. So whenever you introduce a rate, you have to say the APR. And APR, a lot of people think is the same thing as rate, but APR is all of the fees that are involved in getting the loan expressed as a percentage. So if the rate is 7%, the APR is probably going to be, I don't know, 7.4, whatever. I don't know, whatever it is, who knows? But it's going to be higher is the point that I'm making. Oh yeah, same thing. Yeah. Yes, advertising the percentage. Yeah. It is indeed. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you get in trouble. Oh, hey girl. Yeah, you can get in trouble for advertising interest rates, because you have to specify like what are the parameters. And then that's the other thing. So when y'all be going on Zillow and realtor.com and doing all of the things, and y'all are like, well, it said that my payment was only going to be $1,600 a month for this $45 million house. Okay, yeah, but did it tell you that they was putting down 90% and they had a 1,100 credit score, and the house was located in Mercury? Like, all of those things matter. Like, what kind of house is it? How much money you're putting down? What's the credit score? Like, there's a lot that goes into what the interest rate is, which leads you to the payment. And you have to read all of the fine print. Nobody reads the fine print ever. Ever, not never, not ever. Y'all get hyped. Y'all be right. Oh, they told me. They said I could, which is fine. I mean, they said it. I mean, whatever. What? Yeah, for real. It do. I mean, yeah. $45 million. Yeah. Put down your 90%. You too could have whatever they said. You just got to be really careful. You got to be very, very careful about it. What is the loan product? And I'll say this as just a side note. As we start to see these insurance companies pull out of states, you're going to start seeing an impact in interest rates and mortgage insurance as well. Mortgage insurance is there to protect the lender in the event that something happens to the house, like meaning foreclosure. It's going to have an impact. It's going to have an impact. I assure you. So some of these states like California, Florida, with their hurricanes, and California with their earthquakes and fires and just these extreme weather conditions that we're starting to experience, that's going to impact rates as well. More often than not, whenever you see interest rates being expressed or advertised, like Zillow, realtor.com, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a California example, because California, because they have like the biggest loan amounts, they have the better interest rates. What is your loan amount? All of that has to do with your interest rate. So don't worry about what your uncle got. Don't worry about what your cousin got, your best friend. That ain't our business. We don't care about them. You worry about you. You bought your house today on July 18th. Whatever happened yesterday was yesterday. Today's price is today's price. Yesterday's price. She said, I think it's ridiculous. I'm hoping for a catastrophe. Baby, listen. Honey, I don't know what I'm hoping for. I just know that I was the unintended target. Jerome, he hit me hard. Like, what did I do to you? What did I do to deserve this type of treatment? I don't know what I'm hoping for. I just needed to go back to the way it was before. I don't know. I'm the unintended target. I know for sure. I am. So I don't know if I want a catastrophe. I don't know what I want, but I know that this ain't it. Nope. Nope. This is not the way it's supposed to be. I would be interested in seeing you post specifically about a laundry list of items and information the banks rely on to create someone's mortgage. Okay, cool. All right. We can talk about it. Hello, Brian David. For a new loan officer, how would you suggest prospecting to realtors, cold calling, open houses? That's a good question. Once I get the answer, I'll let you know. Because right now, with my pipeline looking, I don't know. So for one, it is important to qualify them. If you could do it a lot of different ways, because I don't know where you're seated in life. If you have the time to sit and wait for a new realtor, like if you're new and you have time to sit and wait for a new realtor to get their feet underneath them and maybe in 8 or 9 months sell their first house, then great. Go after, newer realtors. But if that's not what you're interested in, I would say go and find some sort of system. And I'm sure your company might have something where you can see realtors' numbers. You can see how much they've done in terms of like the buy-side transactions, more specifically over the last 12 months. And generally speaking, the number I'm going to give you came from the Mortgage Marketing Animals model. They suggest that someone needs to have done 8 buy-side transactions or more over the last 12 months for them to be considered worth your time. Right now, I think I need to go sit at the school. I need to go and sit in the classroom with the real estate people and just wait. I don't know. What was true 6 months ago, I don't know what's true today. I don't know the answer. But yeah, you probably want to align yourself with people that are currently producing. You also want to be mindful of the people that are, if this applies to you, don't be in the comments cussing me out. But the COVID loan officers, COVID realtors, they jumped in because they thought they was gonna get a quick buck, and they probably about to jump out. So just be careful of that. So just vet them. If you don't have access to a system like that, I would suggest going on realtor.com. On realtor.com, it's a search where you can search for agents. So you type in a city and then you can search for agents, and then you can drill down a little bit further in the filters and maybe see if they have any types of like certification accreditations or anything like that. Because those are going to be some more of the experienced people. Yeah, but I don't know about cold calling because I mean, I guess it might work, but I slide in somebody's DMs on Instagram, like, and try and develop some sort of rapport with them first, just to get to know their personality or what have you. And then I'm on this platform here. Realtors are lovely. They're great, but they can only give you what they have. And one of the problems that I've experienced is, let's say Mr. CKB want to buy a house, and Mr. CKB goes to ABC Realtor. ABC Realtor is gonna be like, oh, okay, here's 3 names of 3 loan officers. I'm not rolling around in the mud. You win. And that's probably why my year has gone the way it's gone, but it's okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do a great job. My resume it speaks for itself. I'm very good at what I do. I'm not rolling around in the mud. No, not doing it. So those are some ways that I would suggest. But yeah, call a lot of them, call as many as you possibly can, because the market is weird. I'm telling you, I have a video that I put out a few days ago talking about why my 2023 has been so horrible. And it's not because of me necessarily. It's just, it's hard. I have a lot of people that qualify to buy 500,000 houses and they scared. They don't want the payment. They don't know. They're nervous. And I get it. But for varying reasons, they just didn't buy. What y'all talking about? Such and such from next door got it. What y'all talking about? Y'all talking about this catastrophe? Okay, so y'all, so this brings me to what's the T in mortgage? So what's the T? Y'all get it? What's the T? You get mortgage to spell with a T. T like, oh, give me the T, girl. What's the T? What y'all don't, ha. Okay, yeah. Anyway, what's the T in mortgage? So as I was saying a little bit earlier, your mortgage payments is comprised of your principal and interest payment, your property taxes, homeowners insurance, the mortgage insurance, and potentially your homeowners association dues. Okay. And so, yeah, baby, listen, I'm calling everybody. Listen, when I tell you I'm in their yellow pages, straight down the list. Hey, you got licensed 4 hours ago. Hey, do you know anybody at all? What's your mama number? That's what I'm on right now, okay? I'm gonna turn this year around. Trust me when I tell you. It's me and Jesus on the main line. We on 3-way calls together. We conference calling people together right now. So what's the T in mortgage? We have a situation here in Charlotte where there is a lady about to lose her house. So the waiver foreclosures that everybody's waiting on, it may not be a waiver foreclosures because people not making a mortgage payment. It might be because people not making their homeowners association due payments. Did you know that you can leave? You sound crazy. Did you know you can lose your house because you don't make your $150 payment to your HOA dues? So y'all watch this, and then we'll circle back. We'll chat about it a little bit, and then we'll do any Q&A if you got some questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Let's see.
Online, a woman says if she doesn't pay thousands of dollars by the end of the month, her HOA may take her home. She says at first she owed less than $150, but it quickly piled up.
Yes, Action 9 investigator Jason Stujanki is live in Northeast Charlotte tonight with the lesson learned here. Jason?
Yeah, well, Erica, we're standing here in the Back Creek neighborhood right here behind me. You can see that house right there. That's Charlie Cromartie's house, but maybe not for much longer. Charlie Cromartie admits she owed some HOA dues back in January. She says just $132. But she says then one thing led to another. She told me the HOA claimed she was leasing out the house without the right paperwork. She says she wasn't. She says the HOA fined her for weeds. And she says the real killer, she racked up late fees. Listen to this, $100 per day.
I just don't think it's fair, and it's not right.
So she says she's been refusing to pay, going back.
What? Wait, what happened?
Pay it by July 26th, or the HOA may foreclose on her house. You scared?
Yeah, because they can take your house.
Meanwhile, the HOA's management company told me it won't discuss Cromartie's account for privacy reasons.
I'm just going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep doing whatever I can.
Now, a lot of people contact me about their HOAs, and so a lot of folks know it can be hard to fight your HOA, but there are some things you can do, some things to keep in mind. Number one, always remember, if you owe a fee, make sure you go ahead and pay it right away. If you don't agree with that fee, make sure you challenge it right away. But in either case, you see the key here is to not let things linger. Number two, you can always talk to your neighbors. Remember, strength in numbers. And number three, meet with your board as a group, not as an individual. Sometimes that helps. If all else fails, you can always talk to a lawyer, but remember that could end up costing you. We're live in Northeast Charlotte. Jason Stujanki, Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
Good advice there, Jason. Thank you. We also want to let you know North Carolina lawmakers are trying to make it tougher for HOAs to put a lien on someone's property. Right now, state law allows them to do that for any amount of cash that's 30 days past due. After 90 days, HOAs can start to foreclose. They don't even have to call or tell the owner in person. They just have to send something in the mail. House Bill 542 in North Carolina would increase the minimum amount for HOAs to put a lien on someone's property, making it $2,500 at a minimum. The HOA would also have to email and call the homeowner. That bill passed the North Carolina House unanimously. It now sits in the state Senate's Rules Committee.
So, what y'all think about that? Oh Lord, hold on. Wait, I gotta catch up. What I missed? Wait. Okay. She said highway robbery. It is. It gotta be illegal. Well, it's not. It's not illegal. I actually am a part of NAMBA, which is a Minority Mortgage Banking Association, and I'm a part of their Leadership Academy. And we had a meeting Tuesday, and we were talking about loan servicing. And the lady was actually talking about this and how the process of what happens when someone's about to be foreclosed upon because they're not making their payments in terms of taxes. And so I brought up the HOA aspect of it, and she gave me some really good insight on what happens and what people need to do. And I'm going to chat about that in just a second. How did she go from 150? Yeah, $150. What she say happened? She said it was the late fees, and then it was the they told her that she was leasing her house and she shouldn't have been. So I think she got a fine for that. And then she said that she wasn't cutting the grass. And so that was like another $100 a day there. You said HOAs are a scam. I love HOAs. Nope, not a scam. I love them. Keep these people off the grass. Nope. Nope. I don't want you parking in the grass. I don't need y'all. I was in the neighborhood yesterday, and it clearly did not have an HOA, because most houses, like if you have like I don't know, like the trim of your house, most of the trim is going to be white. Well, for whatever reason, this house and the house next door, they trimmed everything in black. The rest of the street, everything was trimmed in white. Like, what y'all doing? What? This is ugly. What is this, a haunted house? But anyway, whatever. No, the HOA, I love HOAs. Nope. Gotta read those terms. Absolutely, you do. You absolutely do. They're there to protect the value of the home. You know, they like, it's not a free for all. You can't just do what you feel like doing. You can't just paint your house whatever color you want to paint your house. You just can't have your fence any type of way that you want to have your fence. You gotta have, well, now, okay. Now that, okay. My neighborhood, we can't have a privacy fence, and I am a little bitter about that, but that's neither here nor there. But yes, so here is the thing. The lady, yes, and oh, thank you, Vaughn. Thank you so much for the $10 cash out. I appreciate you. I just saw it while we were watching that video. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, I did her loan, so anyway, I do. Yeah, it did. It went from $132 to $4,500. But here's the thing. Instead of calling Jason Stu Janke, she should have been calling her bank. She should have been calling a lender. And here's why. From what I understood, from what I gathered, from the loan servicer that I was speaking with earlier this week, there are, I think she said 17 states or 27 states that are super lien states. I tried to Google them to see what the states were, but I was unsuccessful in getting a list of the states. But North Carolina is one of the states. And the super lien states effectively are states where the HOA can come in and their lien that they file can supersede the first lien, which is usually the lender. The only other time that something like that can happen is if it is a tax lien, because you ain't paid your property taxes. That's the other lien that they'll put on your house. So, and they'll, potentially foreclose on it. So that's when you will see people on Instagram and on YouTube, they'll be selling their courses. All you got to do is, here's how you could buy a house for $6.69. That's how. And she shared with me, now, mind you, the lady that was in charge of this session that I was a part of on Tuesday, she worked for a bank. I won't say what bank, but she worked for a bank. So a bank is different than a mortgage lender a little bit. And she'd been in the industry like 30 some odd years. And she did tell me that she had a situation where someone bought a whole house for like $150 because they satisfied the lien and they bought the house. They bought the house. So yeah, it can happen. It could definitely happen. But again, every state is not like that. You have to check with your local area. But here's what happens. So you don't make your payment for a few months, right? The HOA, they probably meet quarterly, monthly or quarterly. And they look and they're like, the property management company over the HOA is like, hey, these are the people that haven't paid. What do y'all want to do? Well, in my neighborhood, they'll send the list to the attorney once a year at the end of the year. Don't ask me how I know. Anyway, they send the list once a year. And they're like, hey, y'all, this is how much you owe. You need to pay it. You pay it, or they'll go through the process. They'll put the lien on the house. And if you're in a state where there's judicial foreclosure or non-judicial foreclosure, so the process is a little bit different. But judicial foreclosure means it has to go through the courts. Non-judicial foreclosure means it doesn't go through the courts. But in that process, and the news package that you just watched did say that the HOA they got to tell somebody. They'll send you a letter in the mail. Most often it'll be certified. I'm guarantee it's certified mail. And they're like, hey, you owe this money. What you gonna do? Now, they have to also notify the lender. Because remember, the lender has the first lien. They have the first position. So that means this is their house. You can't tell me what to do, And so what happens, or what should happen, is They send some sort of written communication to ABC lender, XYZ bank. Hey, Mary Jane Paul owes us $672. We're gonna foreclose on it. There's $2,000 in attorney's fees. So here's the date of the sale or whatever. Well, what the lady told me in the session is, she said that they do that. They will send the communication to the bank or to the lender. But what she said tends to happen is they will send it to like a local branch. And so, well, nobody important works at the local branch. You know, the servicing, like the people that make all the decisions and looks at all of these, you know, different scenarios to figure out, well, do we want to keep the house? Do we save it? What do we do? They work in a whole different state most of the time. And so she said that they'll send it to some little local branch. And then by the time somebody's like, oh, we should probably tell somebody, and it works its way through the system and they mail it. And she said by the time it lands on her desk, she's like, oh shit, it's too late. Oh, the sale is next week. Oh, what do we do? And of course, with the foreclosure, there's a period of redemption. And then there's additional fees that go along with that. But it's up to the lender to be like, do we want to pay it or not? So the reason why I said this lady don't need to be on Channel 9 News with Jason Stu Jenkins. She need to be calling her lender. She need to call them, because it ain't no way in the world that any lender, any bank is getting ready to let $450 or even $4,000 stand in the way of them getting a check every month on a $300,000 loan. Like it's not going to happen. So my advice is, if you live in an HOA community, one, pay your HOA dues. Two, call them people. If you ain't got it, tell them you're going to put something on it. Three, if you do find yourself in this scenario, you need to call your lender. You need to provide your lender with the documentation, because these HOAs, they are out of control. They are completely out of control. Put the lien on the house and move on with your day. I don't understand. Now, I could see if it was like a huge problem in the community, to where, you know, nobody at all was making their payments and it was a massive problem. You know, I get it. I guess maybe. I don't know. But they are out of control. They should not be able to just like take your house like that. I don't think that they should be able to do that. But they can in some states, and they will. And in this particular case, they are. It looked like it's almost over for her. Some of y'all are like, they just wanted her out. That is very possible. I don't know that lady. But I bet you if I make this statement, everybody in this chat can agree. We done all seen that one house in the neighborhood where you like, why did they move here? It's always that one house. Like, who told y'all about this neighborhood? Right? The whole Airbnb situation is out of control. There's a house in my neighborhood, and I don't live in the hood, but it's a house in my neighborhood that I think they were doing an Airbnb thing, and I don't know exactly how true this is, but someone was saying that, you know, people would rent it out to do their little drugs or whatever, and somebody did a drive-by, and that wasn't the first one that had happened. You know, and so the people in that part of the neighborhood, they fed up. They are fed up. So the HOAs, they are there to put guardrails on the way that people condone themselves and how they take care of their property, but they do get a little overzealous, I think. But also too, those HOA dudes, y'all, I don't know if you know, but those HOA dues are there to protect the community, especially if you are like in a condo and you have a condo association, and that condo association might have somebody has some sort of slip and fall accident, and now they want to sue the HOA. Well, guess what? If you want to move to a community that is under litigation, or you want to move to a community with like HOA or condo association dues, a part of what we do behind the scenes when you have found your home and you're under contract and you like not sleeping good at night because you thinking that you gonna be the problem. Sometimes the problem is not you, the problem is the HOA, because we've looked at the HOA financials and they don't have enough money. So now we can't lend on it because their finance is not right. Or they're under some sort of litigation or something like that. It's called a non-warrantable condo. We cannot lend on it because they got some issues that we're not comfortable with. We don't know how this might go. We don't know how this situation might shake out. So paying the HOA dues are important because you are not just protecting yourself or the community members that you have. It's protecting future liabilities for the members of the community that are coming in as well. So, imagine, like, we got 3 pools in my neighborhood. Imagine a kid, heaven forbid, drowning. You think that family ain't gonna file a lawsuit? Somebody gotta pay for it. That's what the HOA dues are for. So, that's the tea, honey. That's the tea and mortgage, baby. They gonna come get your house. They come and get the people's house. The people are not playing with y'all about that little $130, $145, $66 a month. No, indeed. You better cut your grass. Get out there with some scissors or something. Get some scissors. Cut that grass. Do what you gotta do. Keep the people up off you. You better make some friends. Make some friends on HOA board. Take the president out to lunch. Get her coffee. Get her some Starbucks, something. Get them people up off you. Because they not playing around. They are not. They can and they will. I'm just saying. I don't know. That's the tea, honey. That's the tea. That's all I got. I don't got no more. What y'all want to talk about? What y'all want to talk about? What's going on? But no, I think that earlier question was pretty good. Did I have any other questions? I had a couple, but we had 2 hours, so I might save these for next week. But let me see. I might have one good one. I'll end with this. This is less, and I found this on one of them Facebook boards, them home Bible. Y'all listen, let me say this real quick. Those Facebook groups, they all fine and good and great. They're great. They're wonderful. They're amazing. But you got to take people's advice with a grain of salt, because y'all, the people that y'all in there asking, they don't know either. They don't know the answers either. Okay. That's just, take what they say with a grain of salt. Make sure whoever the professional is or the professionals are that are in the group, that's the only advice that you're taking. If you go on these boards, because this annoys me when I see people say, I'm buying a house for $445,000 and they told me my payment gonna be $92,000 a month. What was your payment when you got your house? And then somebody inevitably says, I bought a $60 million house for $2 a month. Like, y'all, they don't offer the context. They don't. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. But this is something, and I will leave y'all with this, okay? The person says, I just came to express my frustration. So I was pre-approved for $425,000 last October with a $75,000 salary. I didn't find anything, so I said, well, I'll just wait until rates go down and I'll get a better job with a higher salary. So here I am a few months later, June 2023, with an $82,000 salary, and I was pre-approved for $375,000. I have a 681 credit score and no debt. I'm just sad. I regret now not buying last year with that $425,000. And then she goes on to kind of express more of her emotions. She says it blows her mind how rates can change a little and drastically affect the mortgage and purchase power. And that is absolutely true. I would never, ever, 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 ever endorse somebody doing something before they're ready. But if you are not doing something because of outside influences where somebody is telling you, oh, I wouldn't do that. Or I've seen many situations where it'll be, some 25, 30-year-old, and they're like, well, my dad said, well, your daddy don't do this, okay? And they pass up a good opportunity to buy. You can never turn back the hands of time. The one thing that we know to be true, Father Time is undefeated. You cannot, there's no time machine. You cannot turn back the hands of time. What things used to be, they will never be again. You can never recreate something that used to be. And when you have data to support that, and even though you get frustrated and you and your feelings and your emotions, I am the first one. Every time I talk to people, I talk to them about the emotions of buying a home. You have got to be rooted in some sort of faith. I don't know if that means it's some sort of higher power, some sort of deity. People be like, oh, I manifested. Whatever your situation is, you need to be firmly rooted and firmly grounded in your why. And you need to be able to have some sort of support system, whether it is your faith in Jesus Christ or your homegirls, whatever, whoever, to get through this process. Because once you have the house, you got it. It's done. You won. You can plant your flag because it means that you now have something that you could give to your children. It means that regardless of what the interest rates do, go up or go down, you ain't got to worry about somebody tapping you on your shoulder saying that your rent payment is going to be higher next year. It means that if you get into some sort of situation, you're going to end up having some sort of equity and you'll be able to pull money out of your house and maybe consolidate your debt. It means so much more than just this, oh, I didn't see nothing I like. It is not going to BB to get you a cute dress to go down to the club free before 10 o'clock. It's not that type of situation. It's not that type of environment. We're not in that anymore. Purchasing a home is a big girl, big boy situation, event. You've got to be very deeply rooted and understand, why are you doing this? What is your purpose? What are you trying to achieve? What do you want to accomplish? And if you can find something that within your payment range, it don't got to be perfect. It does not have to be the house of your dreams. But don't give up. And I really do mean that. But if you're not ready, then you're not ready. But the idea that this young woman was ready, she was right there and said, well, I got frustrated and I just decided I'm going to wait till the rates go down. Despite hearing everywhere that it's up and it's stuck, we're not saying this just because it's a song and it's a catchy slogan. We're saying it because it is the truth. This is the environment we are in. We have the data to support it. 40% of homes are going to be owned by institutional investors. So what you about to do with the little 60%? Whatever you need to do to get yourself prepared, it is going to take a year to get prepared. And in that year, you need to do some soul searching. What are you willing to sacrifice to get the thing? Is it your nails? Is it your hair? What is it? But get the thing. Don't rely on these external forces or sources to determine whether or not you are going to be able to attain this dream. You deserve it. You go to work every day. You work hard. You deserve it. Your children deserve it. Whatever that why is, whatever that reason is, you deserve it. If you've worked hard and you've saved and you've done all of the right things, you deserve it. And I mean that from the depths of my soul. Now, I also mean homeownership ain't for everybody. Don't let nobody bully you into buying a house. It's not for everybody, and it's okay. But that's a sad situation that this woman is in. She's probably put herself in a situation now where she ain't never gonna buy a house. She might have missed her window. And the fact of the matter is, and the data supports the harsh truth, the window is closing for a lot of people. And you could Tootsie Roll and Fool La La. You could be in Italy and Paris and Rome and down to the Dubai, everywhere. Okay. But you might miss your window. But anyway, that's that on that. I ain't got no more. I hope y'all y'all enjoyed me like I enjoyed y'all. Y'all know I be laughing. I be having a good time. I had my wine. I think it's time for me to go to bed. But I am available. Like I said, I can help fund loans for home loans in a variety of states, as far north as Maine and as far west as Arizona. If you have a friend that is looking to purchase a home, please have them reach out to me. All of my contact information is below. If you not like this, please like it for engagement so that they'll push this out so other people can see, because I am trying to get monetized. You know, come on, multiple streams of income, because these loans ain't closing. But yeah, so let me know if you guys have any questions, any one-off scenarios. If you all are interested in purchasing investment properties, or if anyone knows someone that is into purchasing an investment property, anyone knows anybody is interested in purchasing an investment property, I do have a loan that will allow you to do so without any income. No income. You just gotta have some queens. 20% down. Okay. So let me know. But until next Tuesday, I'll see y'all. Y'all have a blessed week. Bye.